Hello guys, welcome to this demo video in which I will demonstrate you how to use account level single sign-on links in CloudBlue Connect, and I will do it with real life demo of single sign-on into a sample application that we will build with Anvil, as you will see in a few minutes. So first of all, a few words about links. This is a feature of Connect, which allows you to essentially show links like the one you can see on the screen here. And your users might click at the link and get to some third-party system from the CloudBlue Connect portal. This link might lead to just random documentation, or it might link to some third-party system, and the redirect URL allows you to use a JWT token in order to perform a single sign-on into external system. And this is what we're going to see together. So first of all, just to reiterate on the feature itself. As you might know, in CloudBlue Connect, we have three different types of portals: distributor portal, vendor portal, and reseller portal. So it all starts with the distributor portal, and distributors can simply define a single sign-on link in the account properties. We will do it in a few minutes, and once they do that, a link appears for all users of the account. Distributors can obviously invite vendor account, and members of vendor account can define links of their own, and those links will be visible in the vendor portal. Same might happen with resellers. So distributors invite resellers, and administrator of reseller account invites a single sign-on link, and this single sign-on link is visible in their account. On top of that, distributors can actually mark some of their links to be visible to their vendors, which means that vendors who have active contractual relationship with that distributor will see that link in their account as well. And the same is true for reseller relationship. So distributor can actually set a checkbox on the link, and by doing so, this link becomes visible to all resellers who have active contractual relationship with the distributor. All things combined, it's a pretty straightforward feature, as you can see. And when you define a link, that link is visible in account properties. We will do it in a second. And the actual content of the redirect, it's pretty easy to check. We can use Postman Echo for that. It's pretty straightforward. So let's do that right now. So I have my test account here, and currently has no links. So we can go to account settings. In account settings, we will find this link section. We can go to links, and we can click this add link property essentially, right? So we click add link. We will set a name of this link. So this is external system link. Well, let's populate it with certain icon, and let's make it an icon of CloudBlue Connect, red one. And this is a demo link to external system. Now, those different properties that we can set on the link that I was describing a few minutes ago, the simplest case is to make this link visible to just your own account. You can also make this link visible to your vendors and your resellers. You can also make this link visible in the help desk scenario, meaning that those partners who try to create a ticket to your account will actually see this link, and this allows you to redirect them to your external help desk system. For the purposes of this demo, I will be using the simplest scenario. All other scenarios work exactly the same. It's just more difficult to demonstrate them because we will need to be switching between different accounts to see that link. So I'm using my account, and here we're setting up the actual URL to be redirected. So this URL could be as simple as just this Postman Echo. So we will use this URL for the demo purposes to start with. And you can also specify parameters. Like in this case, we will say JWT equals token. And this is this special property token in those brackets will be used by CloudBlue Connect to populate it with the actual JWT token that is signed with this secret. Okay, so let's do that and let's see how this link works. So we've just created the link, and now we can simply go to the home screen of our account, and we will see our link here. And now when we click at this link, it redirects us to this Postman echo, and here we can see the actual JWT token that was sent. Right? Postman just shows back the actual payload that we sent to that URL. And we can take this token and we can go to jwt.io, and here they have a very handy debugger of JWT token, so we can just paste the value of token here, and this will allow us to see the actual contents of the JWT token. Right, as you can see, CloudBlue Connect will send the actual link identifier, username, and account information. So this should be more than enough to initiate user management on the external system side. And we can also check and verify the signature. For that, we need to go back to CloudBlue Connect, obviously. We need to go to account settings. You need to be administrator to be able to do it. You click on this external link, and you can copy paste the secret that we can use for the actual validation of the signature, right? So as you can see, signature is now verified, which means that this token is actually a legitimate token. So all of this is quite fancy, obviously, but let me show you how you can actually use it in a real-life scenario with some third-party system. For that, I'm going to use Anvil. It's a very nice web application builder, purely in Python. So you just need to know one framework in order to build an end-to-end web application. So for that, we will need essentially to create, we will need to go to the application builder of Anvil, and we will need to create a new blank application. So let's do that. Let's build an application in material design. Once again, it will be a super simplistic application. So we just need to do to perform a single sign-on into this. So we will need user management, and for that we will need to click here, add, and we need to add user management. And well, let's leave all the default properties of user management because we'll be creating users automatically. So all we need to do in order to actually initiate the login procedure to our web application, we need to say that while anvil.users.getUser, while it's not available, let's make sure that user actually authenticates into the platform. And we will use simple login with form. Right. So now we have a simple web application that we can actually run. And this application will be showing the login form upon sign-in. Since we want to perform the actual single sign-on, let's not create any users manually for this application, and let's just add one simple property to this web application, one simple control. It will be a label. Let's call this label, well, label hello. And upon successful sign-in, this label will be showing us the actual username of the user. For that, we need, let's create a simple function in this form. This function will be called getUser essentially. So let's call it get username, and this will be a very simple function. It will be something like anvil dot users anvil dot users. Anvil has a very handy auto-completion. It's actually quite cool. It's very easy to write code here. So you get the user, we get the user, and again, I will not be doing any errors checks here. And what we're going to do is, like, we will use user email to return it back from this function, right? And essentially, let's give this form a name. Let's call it main form for simplicity, and we will set a data binding for this simple control, and this data binding will look like a simple string, which will say hello self dot get username. Super simple, but that should be more than enough. And let's make this control a little bit bigger, something like font 48, just so that we can easily understand that it works. So with this, we already have a simplistic application, right, which allows us to work with this. And obviously, there's not much we can do right now because we don't have single sign-on yet. And let's say if not user, for now, let's return just empty value. So again, we have our login code now. So now let's think about the actual single sign-on. In order to perform single sign-on into a third-party application, we need to have a URL of that third-party application. So previously we were using this Postman Echo. Now with this application, we will be using the private URL of this application. So we'll be using this private link. So let's copy this link, and let's go back to the account properties here, and let's edit this link. And now we're going to use this link in order to redirect from connect to the third-party system. Also, the format of this URL needs to be very specific. It needs to be this hash and then question mark in order for Anvil to detect it as an external property. But other than that, we don't need anything else, right? So we can save this property. Now, if and when we go to the home screen of Connect and we'll click at this external system, we're getting to our application, right? But we still don't have the actual single sign-on code. In order to perform the single sign-on, well, first of all, we need to do just a few things. First and foremost, upon loading of our form, we will receive this JWT parameter, right? So we need to retrieve properties from that parameter and use it to either create a user if it doesn't exist, or just discover the existing user. So what we're going to do, we will say something like params equals get URL hash, and this is the way to get query parameters in Anvil. And here we will say, like, if we have JWT in params, then we will retrieve our JWT token from those parameters. And this is how we are, JWT, this is how we are sending that value from Connect, if you remember. And in order to perform the actual single sign-on, we will need to perform a server call. We will create this function in a second. So we'll say Anvil server call, and we will call the function which we'll create. It will be JWT single sign-on, and we will only pass one parameter there, this JWT token. Right. So upon, like, if this function succeeds, it will create a user, and then this login form will not even be shown. So now let's create a server code, and it will be our server module, we will use this example function. We'll just rename it to our JWT single sign-on, and it will only have one parameter, which is called JWT token. For this function, we'll be using a standard JWT library of Python. And in order to perform the actual validation of the token, we will need to do a few things. Well, first of all, we'll need to have our JWT secret, which we can take and retrieve in the properties of link in CloudBlue Connect here. So we need to click at this link. We need to go to settings and we copy paste our secret value. Right, so we get back, we store the secret value. For the purposes of the demo, I'm using it. After the demo, I will regenerate it so that there is no security leak or something. From here, we just need to decode the token. So we say JWT dot decode, and here we pass the actual token, which we receive in the value, and we pass the secret, and we also specify the algorithm. And the algorithm that we will be using will be HS256. Again, it will work without this explicit specification as far as I remember, but it's just, it makes things easier. And now what we're going to do, we'll say that, okay, let's first try to retrieve a user based on the email from the token, right? And remember, we will have that email property here. So what we're going to do, we'll say apptables.users.get, and we will need to find the user by email, and in this case it will be token property user and property email, obviously. And if we don't have such user, then we need to create it, and then essentially we're doing user equals apptables dot users dot add row, and we're essentially just creating the user. So we'll say that we have the email of this user will be equal to the email in the token. Then this user needs to be enabled. This user needs to have convert email, and we don't want to assign any password to this user, so let it be none. And that's pretty much it. Now all we need to do, so no matter what, if we get here, we already have a user. Either it was it existed before, or we just created this user, and now we say that users force login, and we use this user and we return user to the front end. So theoretically, if we did everything right, we now have a properly working function. So now if we get back to our portal and we go to the home screen and we click at this get Anvil link, we get an error and it says that it's required to pass a value for the algorithm argument. Okay, let's see, what did we do wrong? Algorithm, it's algorithms, most likely, as far as I remember. Okay, let's see. So it redirects to the portal, and we can see who we are, right? So we can see a user now. And if we go back to Anvil and we will look up at the database of Anvil, we will see that the user was automatically created. So again, this is a simple way to achieve single sign-on. With this base level functionality, you can start building more complex features, but you don't have to solve user registration in your external application, and you can achieve pretty complex scenarios. Like I said, you can pass token to the URL of the external link, and you can use Postman echo like we were doing to just debug and see what's being sent from Connect. It's very handy. You can use jwt.io website to debug the actual token contents, and this is what the content of the link that was used. And you can use Anvil and free account there to play with it. It's pretty easy, or any other application for that matter that you want to build single sign-on with. It's just very easy to play with them, and we'll build a very cool web development framework. So for more information, please visit our CloudBlue Connect community as usual. And please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We hope that you like videos that we create, and we hope to be useful to you guys. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and please take care. Bye.